if you're catching my replay, please hashtag replay. Give us a few minutes as people join, and we have about 4 or 5 minutes before 7. So give us just a minute if you're catching the replay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Jane, Karen. Is it Danette? Paula? Healing Arts? Heidi? There's a Greece, New York. Never knew that. Karen? Chris? We're going to give it a few minutes before because it's not quite 7 o'clock yet. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out. Have my new preaching stick, Carol. This is my new favorite brush. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Julie. Did y'all have your protein drink? I saw Carol bought some poppies, and she said they're delicious, and they really are. I'm not selling these, so I'm not getting a kickback. I'm just telling you what I like. This is like a prebiotic drink. It's got apple cider vinegar in it. It sounds straight up disgusting. Like, I would have never bought this, but it was like one of those things, TikTok made me buy it. You know what I'm talking about? And it kept advertising on TikTok. And, I'm a sucker for a cute. And this little green and pink was cute. So I decided to try it because it was good for your gut health. And now I love them. So I drink them. This one is just watermelon. There's only 25 calories in the whole drink. And there's only 3% juice. Anyway. Julie Pappin. Is that what that says? Who's Julie Pappin? I don't even know how to pronounce your last name, Chris. Good morning, Becky. Oh, Becky, you drink them too? I have Pappin. So she has a different last name from you? That ain't right. Anyway, I have a lot of bloat problems. And I thought this would help. I don't know if it will or not, but we'll see. We'll see. Sure beats drinking apple cider vinegar straight. Mealy? Never knew that. All right, we have 1 minute to get this party started. So I'm going to go ahead and get this nappy hair up. And then we're going to get started. I'm going to first talk to you guys about a couple of my animal situations. And then we're going to speak on marriage today. How does that sound? Okay, it's 7 o'clock. All right, let's start with animals. Is that cute or what? I mean, really. Okay. First off, yesterday, Kayla and I were here and we were team tagging. She was out in the farm area. I didn't have to take my dad to radiation yesterday. They were closed yesterday. So I was here with Kayla. And so I'm taking my glasses off so Kayla's in charge. So Kayla and I were team tagging yesterday, and she was doing like my coops and nesting boxes and feed and all that stuff. And I was in here handling poop, rabbit poop, and cleaning out rabbit cages. Well, I went, okay, a couple of days ago, I let the rabbits out to free range. And when I picked up Delta Dawn, I thought she felt skinny. Like she felt really light. But then I was thinking it was just me. Like I was like, it's just me. I got a new preaching stick. I was like, it's just me. She's fine. And then yesterday, when I went to let her free range, I went to pick her up. I was like, she was skin and bones. And I was like, oh, what's wrong with her? And so I went into kind of a panic mode. And I was like, oh my gosh, she is so skinny. I've never had a sick rabbit. In 5 years that I've had my farm, I've never had a sick rabbit. So I was like, what do I do? And so I called my rabbit mentors. That's what I call them. I called them and I was like, what do I do? And they said, you need to worm them. So I immediately wormed them and put apple cider vinegar in their water. And then I gave her a little bit of Safeguard. And it does take a minute. If they have worms, it takes a minute for it to get out of their system. So I didn't run her to the vet because I wanted to see what happened. So they also told me to put oatmeal, like old-fashioned oats, you know what I'm talking about, in her feed. And so, because it'll fatten them up. So I did that, and she ain't eating them. So I was like, okay, let me give it 24 hours. And this morning I went in there and she had not ate it. She is drinking, but she did not eat her food. And so then I decided to put some kind of as a tester. I decided to put some romaine lettuce in there to see if I could get her to eat the lettuce, and she's not eating it. So guess what I get to do today? Yeah, I get to get off here, run out there, let the animals out real quick, run to the vet, and then take my dad radiation. So, when I talk about balance, I really need to preach to myself. I think that's what I do. When I talk to y'all, I'm not preaching. I'm preaching to myself, to be honest with you. I'm saying things that I need to remember. Like, I'm not necessarily talking to y'all. I mean, I am, but it's almost like I'm having a conversation with myself because I can't see what you're typing. And so Kayla's responding. And it's like I'm having a one-on-one conversation with myself about life. Going, Judy, don't forget. Judy. So things are really, oh, that looks terrible. Things are going to be tough today. So I'm really going to have to exercise balance, remember to eat, remember to breathe, remember, all the things that I preached to you guys about. I'm going to have to exercise those things today because today's going to be tough. Usually when I go to the vet, I don't have to wait very long. They're pretty, they have more than one vet there. They know who I am. They know who I am. What is that? What is that? Oh, they know who I am. Not that that matters, but they usually get me in and out pretty quickly. So that's one thing good. I do have 2 vets. I have a vet that I use for my farm to come out here. And then I have a vet that I actually physically go to. Because sometimes I will call my farm vet and he'll go, run to Dr. Lee and get this medicine. And all I have to do, once you establish a relationship with a vet, you can just call and say, hey, Dr. Harney wants this antibiotic for Cinco. Could you have it. And all I have to do is they'll have it filled and I run into the vet and I get it. So it's so important when you have a farm to have a good relationships with your vets. The great thing about Dr. Harney is he's not just my vet, but I feel like he's my friend too, because when you have a farm, you know, the operating sick hours are not always 8 to 5, right? Like, like when you have a farm, sometimes you walk out there at 6 o'clock and you're like, oh my God, Cinco's eye swole. What's wrong? And then you find yourself doing a video and sending it to the vet going, in a way, like if I were to send that to Dr. Lee that has a practice, do you think he's going to respond to me after 6 o'clock? Going, Dr. Lee, this is a vet. First of all, I don't have his cell phone number to message him because he has so many patients, right? But like your farm vet, and I don't know if he just does this for me or if I don't feel like it's like just for me. I think he does this with all of his clients. But when there's an emergency and Cinco has a swollen eye, I can make a video on a Saturday at 6 o'clock and I can send it to Dr. Harney and he'll go, Judy, it's not pink eye. It looks like an injury. Call Dr. Lee, get an antibiotic. And he tells me exactly what to do. And he doesn't charge me. Now that is a vet that cares. That is a vet. And also, every time, I've said this before, but I'm a city girl, right? I'm learning as I go. And I need to say this before I forget. If you are, how I talk about opinions? You know how I talk about opinions? Okay, look. If you're a farm, don't be a know-it-all. Don't be telling me what to do. You know what I mean? Like if you truly care about somebody and what they're doing, sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut. Now, if it's a situation where I ask your opinion, then certainly give your opinion. But when you start throwing your opinion, you're going to get in trouble. If I said, okay, like for example, if I'm watching Cog Hill's videos and I see they're like talking about one of their sick animals and I start throwing my opinion to Jason and Brooke and go, hey, listen, if I were you, I would do this, this, and this, and this. I'm going to straight up get on their nerves. Okay, because if anybody knows Jason and Brooke's animals, it is Jason and Brooke. It is not Judy. Okay, even though my opinion, I have an opinion, and my opinion is right to myself. But when you start throwing your opinions on other farms and telling them how to raise their animals, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Okay, enough about that. So basically, Dr. Harney, because I'm a city girl and he knows that, he literally teaches me something every single time he comes to my farm. He does. He teaches me. I mean, and it's not necessarily something about the illness that he's coming for. He teaches me something like just, I don't know, about like halter care, or how to walk Leroy, how to train him, like something, something about my alpacas. Like he's really knowledgeable. And a farm vet is somebody, if you have a farm, you better establish a good relationship with your vet. That's all I'm saying. Because it's going to be a Saturday at 6 o'clock and all of a sudden your alpaca's going to start having birth and you're going to go, and it's stuck and you're like, oh my gosh, oh no, I'm in an emergency. I need to call a vet. And you're like, I don't know a vet to call after hours. You need to establish a relationship with the vet. Okay. Anyway, all right. Today I want to talk about, today I'm preaching. The preaching today is about marriage. And the reason I'm preaching about marriage is because this lady, I'm not saying names, I think it was a lady. This lady messaged me and said, I wished I had a marriage like yours and Shane's. Um, my marriage, my husband does blah, 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 blah. I just wish that I had support and things like that. And I wanted to call her on the phone and go, honey, you have no idea. You have no idea. So today I want to talk about what makes my marriage look perfect on video. Okay, that's what I want to talk about. Because I'm here to tell you right now that my marriage, and when I say perfect, let me just stop for just a minute. We're all smart enough to know that all marriages are not perfect, right? Like we know that. Okay? Like there's no such thing as a perfect marriage. We all know that. But let's take out the word. Let's take out the word perfect and replace it with happy. Okay? Because there is a such thing as a happy marriage, but there's really no such thing as a perfect marriage, right? So today I'm going to talk about happy relationships. Not even a marriage. Let's talk about happy relationships. What makes Shane and I look like we have the happiest relationship in the whole wide world? Y'all, I video what I let sometimes I can't talk. Creators video what they want you to see, right? So like the great videos y'all see is what creators want you to see. So like what happens is you don't see all the gory details, you just see the highlights that I want you to see. You don't see the fussing and fighting, you don't see the struggles, you don't see all that. All you see is Judy and Shane being silly with each other. Should I leave my hair up like this? I kind of feel like I want to. I don't know. You see Shane and Judy being silly with each other. You have to understand. I want to tell you what makes me happy. Okay, Shane is very good for me. I don't know. Let me play a minute. Shane is very good for me. And I was trying before I don't know if I really like this, but we're going to go with it today. Before I went live, I tried to sit here and go, what is it that I'm happy with Shane? Like, what makes my relationship with Shane so much stronger than past relationships? Like, what is it about Shane? And this might not make sense. Okay. In my life, like even like when I was in high school and was in relationships, Judy is not a smother person. Like if you smother me, I am not liking you. Okay. I need my distance. I am not a snuggler in the bed. We're not going to spoon and go to sleep. Not doing that crap. I am on my side of the bed. You get your butt on your side of the bed because I do not want to be touched when I'm asleep. Get away from me. Okay. I do not like it. If like, I can remember in high school, if some guy threw themselves at me, that was a turnoff. I was like, I do not like you at all. I mean, and they could have been the most perfect guy, looks, sweet, like all the great things. If they liked me and like was over the top sending me like notes in school and stuff, I don't like you. I like the person that's a challenge, okay? Like I like the person that doesn't like me. Isn't that stupid? But yes, that's how it was. I don't like people to smile, even girlfriends. even girlfriends, I do not like, if you have to talk to me all the time, I feel like I can't breathe sometimes. Like, I have to, okay, I deal with my depression because I fight depression. I deal with my depression by myself. I don't want to talk to, like, when I'm depressed, I don't want to talk it out. I want to be left alone and give me 10 minutes like that. Like, if Shane saw me like upset and I said, and he started coming to smother me, hugging me, I'm like, dude, get away from me. I need 10 minutes. I need to deal with it myself. So, like, I'm not one to call up my friends and go, listen, I'm fighting depression. Well, what's wrong? I have no clue. Because when someone has mm, when someone has clinical depression, there is a difference in situational depression and clinical depression. A situational depression, you probably maybe do want to talk about it. Like, he makes me so mad. Let me just tell you what he did to me, because you're reacting to a situation that made you depressed and you might want to talk about it. But when you have clinical depression, there's not a situation that caused that depression. It just happens. There's a chemical imbalance in your head that causes depression, and you can be depressed for no reason at all. And when that happens, when there is clinical depression and you have no idea why you're depressed, it's difficult to talk about because there's nothing to talk about because there's nothing that made you depressed. It's just there. And you're like, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? And that's when I'm like, leave me the heck alone, because I have no clue. Because then what happens is, when there's no situational depression and someone comes up to you because they're wanting to figure out what's wrong with you, and they're like, why are you crying? There's nothing to cry about, Judy. You can't explain it because there's not a situation that caused that. And it's hard to talk about. I have clinical depression, okay? So, like, I can't always talk about it because it's not a situation. So when this happens is when I put my hands out and go, I need to separate myself. I'm okay. Like, I'm fine, but I just need some time to myself. And that's when I go out to my farm and I get in the moment. And I sit down with the chickens and I feed them. And suddenly it's like I'll have a crying spell. I'm not putting my makeup on, and I've got to go to the vet today. Put your makeup on, Judy. So it's like I'll have like a crying spell with the chickens, and I'll go, this sucks. You have no clue, Mr. Rooster. Like, I don't even know what the crap is wrong with me. And it's like I can get it out. And because when you have clinical depression, generally your own medication, which helps create the chemicals to be balanced. Okay. So my depression used to last forever. Like, I would get into clinical depression and could not get out of it. Like, it was awful. Like, it would last sometimes years because I wasn't going to the doctor. And I thought that I could get over it. And I thought that this is just me. This is just who I am. Do y'all do that? Do y'all have situations that you're in and you're like, it's just me. I've been like this my whole life. It's just me. It is not just you. Okay? Get your butt to the doctor. Trust me, because life will be so much happier when your chemicals get straight. Okay? I promise you. I have the badge for it. I promise. But I'm going to say it takes a minute for the doctor to find the right chemicals that you need in your body to level out the whatever you got going on. It takes a minute. It took me a couple of years to find the right cocktail, is what they call it, to learn how to balance your brain. Okay. I actually had to go have a blood test. No, it wasn't a blood test. It was a saliva test. My doctor, they came out, I don't know what year it was, but they came out with this test that shows your chemical breakdown and what medicine works with your body. So my doctor, because we were having a hard time finding something to keep me not depressed. And so she did this chemical balance test on me. And I learned that I am a quick metabolizer. So, like, I don't have to have a huge amount of milligrams to get my brain to work right. So once she did that, then I was able to learn how to, or once she did that, I was able to get the right cocktail to learn what works for my body. And there's times when I'm not even talking about marriage, I'm talking about depression. Let me skip it. Anyway, it takes a minute to find the right cocktail. But if you sit here and go, oh, I've been depressed my whole life, I've never been a happy person, you're fooling yourself. I'm just letting you know, believe it or not, I don't care what age you are, you can find happiness at any age. Yeah, you can change at any age. You just have to make up your mind. So anyway, with when it comes to Shane, what I like is that he gives me distance. When I'm talking about, I need you to get out of my face, you know what I'm talking about? When I cannot be smothered. Shane does not smother me at all. Shane gives me space. And it's good for me. It's really good for me because he doesn't have to be, like, we don't have to be up each other's butt to know that we both love each other and that we're happy. I can be out in the farm and he can be out in the shop and we're both okay, even though we're not around each other. We may not see each other till night. Like, we're both okay with that. It's not like, now with me needing space, it helps me when there's people around me all the time and I'm in a clinical depression. I can't think straight. You know how I tell you that I break things down? I like, when I'm in a situation, I have to break it down to figure out, like, what is going on with my brain. Like, what am I upset over, or what am I depressed about? Like, it takes me a minute. I have to break it down. And when there's people in front of me, I get distracted and my brain just can't process everything. But when I'm by myself, when I'm in that, then is the moment that I can have some clarity and go, oh, this is what's wrong with me. So Shane gives me that. You know, some people have to have people around all the time. Like, they got to be doing something all the time. You know, they got to have people around to make them happy. I can be completely happy going out to eat by myself, sitting at home by myself, being in my farm like, I have gotten to the point where I like it. I like being by myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like being with Shane. Don't get me wrong. But I've learned to be content with me. But I had to get content with me is because I had to fix me first, because I didn't like me for the longest time. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I acted. I didn't like what I did in a job. I liked literally nothing about me. Nothing. And I had to build a relationship with myself. Does that make sense? You know how you put so much effort, like, say that you're single and you start dating someone. You know how much effort you put into that relationship, like getting to know them and talking to them and cooking them dinner and whatever you do for that person to get to know them. You need to put that same energy into yourself to get to know yourself and learn what you're good at. What makes you unique? What makes you you? Because this is what I would do. I had so much PTSD from being told, I told you guys that in high school, I made some stupid decisions and it's followed me to this day with my family. And so, yeah, I was 18 and I'm fixing to be 53 and the crap still follows me. So my question to you is there stuff that you've done in your past that follows you to this day? You know what I mean? Like maybe let's just say maybe you were in a relationship with someone and you cheated on them. Next thing you know, you're a cheater. Like you cheated on somebody at 18 years old, and here you are, 65, and you're a cheater. You know what I'm saying? You're like, dude, I did that when I was 18. Let me. That was stupid decisions when I was young. I'm not a cheater the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? But like that happens, and it follows you for the rest of your flipping life, and it's so stupid to me. But you know what happens? Is I find myself judging my family or my friends about stupid crap they did. Like, like I can sit here and go, my brother, for example, um, my my brother, my oldest brother, hope he's not listening to me, but my oldest brother went to this church when his kids were younger, and I called it the cult church because my brother went from normal to not normal. Like, I did not understand what was going on. He was like super religious. Like, it was one of those situations where my kids will not get a car at 16. And I'm like, why? My kids will not do that. He would not let his kids watch commercials. His kids were not allowed at my house. Like I never got to keep my nieces and nephews ever. And I resented him for that. I was so mad at him because I never got to build a relationship with my nieces and nephews. And he did that because now this is just my opinion, but I was of the world. I was of the world. I did not go to a church like his. Therefore, I was sinful and I was of the world. Okay. A couple of years ago, my brother got out of that church and they went back to normal. I was like, thank God. But see, this is what happens. My kids were brought up with my brother and my sister-in-law being super religious, like kids can't listen. Isn't that funny? Kids can't listen to regular music, like they can only listen to Christian music. Kids cannot watch commercials. Kids were not allowed to eat Doritos because there were red food dye in the. I mean, like they were super strict. My kids were brought up with my brother being like that. So to this day, my kids do not like to go to my brother's house because they're weirdos. But see, my brother's changed. My brother is what I call normal now. And so what happens is my kids are still stuck in the way my brother used to be because they've not really been around him enough to know that my brother has changed. I'm talking about my brother that went live with me. My brother has changed and he's much more gentle now with his religion. He doesn't throw it on you. He doesn't do that anymore. But see, my kids are stuck with the way my brother used to be. And they probably will be like that with my brother for the rest of their life. So they're judging my brother because that's all they know. It's the same thing with us. We do exactly what people do to us. I don't like my sister because when I was little, she used to pick on me and she hated me. We hated each other our whole entire life. And she's always been a goody, goody, goody. And she thinks she's better than me. You're judging your sister for what she did when she was growing up with you. Okay. And you think she's still like this to this day. But what you're doing is you're judging your sister by things that she did in her past. And you never know your sister's grown up. And probably all that you have left is your sister. And you're not wanting to have a relationship with your sister because of what she was like when she was young. Well, what if you start your relationship over? What if you gave her the opportunity because she's grown up now and she's different? And what if you mended the relationship with your brother or your sister? It would be the same thing if my kids mend their relationship with my brother and they see that my brother is not like he used to be. They'll be like, I do have an uncle. Wow. My uncle's so cool now. I had no idea. But they are not giving him the opportunity because they're judging him for the way they know him growing up. And we do the same thing. So when I talk to you about what we can we change the way your sister treated you when you were young, or when she was a teenager, or when she was in her 20s, or when she was in her 30s? The ugly things that she said to you, can you change that? No. But you know what you can do? You can open your heart and you can change. You can be that sister that's different and forgive her for what she did when she was freaking 17 years old and start over. You can start over. Now, in marriage, where I might look like Shane and I have the most happiest relationship ever, it's not always happy. And this is probably going to be, this may sound like I'm tooting my own horn. And if I am, sometimes when you guys listen to me, you don't listen to the whole story. You listen to bits and pieces, and then you're like, oh, well, I don't agree with her. You need to hear the whole entire story and don't judge by a sentence. Okay? You need to hear the whole story. So with Shane has been single for 19 years. So when someone's been single for that long, they're kind of set in their ways. Like no woman's going to tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? So like, Shane is set in his, hang on. I can't talk and do this. Hang on. I really like these eyeshadow things. These eyeshadow pens or whatever they're called. Shane's set in his ways because he's been married one time and it was a train wreck, and he never got married again because he just wasn't marriage material. I'm gonna be honest with you, Shane. I think what makes Shane and I complete and Shane and I happy for the most part is because I'm well. Shane's not. I'm well. No. I have to constantly with myself. I'll give you an example. Christmas Day. Okay. Shane is not always home Christmas. Okay. Because Shane is a hunter. Okay. He is a hunter. And so Christmas, Shane is not a gift giver. So if you are the type of woman that you need to be pampered with gifts, Shane is not your man. If you're the type of woman that, wants flowers to be given to you and candy at Valentine's Day, you're in trouble. Like, I'm not getting gifts, okay? He is not buying Christmas gifts. He's not buying Valentine. I'm not getting an anniversary gift. Like, he's not that person. And see, if you're the type of person that receives love through gifts, this can be dangerous because you're like, in your brain, you're like, he didn't even give me a Valentine's Day gift. He didn't love me. That POS, he doesn't love me. But see, to learn, I've had to learn that I had to break down why Shane doesn't give gifts. And see, I was thinking it was just me that he did that with. But see, it's not. Shane's like that with his mother, his daughter. Like, he is not that way. And I don't know, like, I don't really, let's see, how do I put this? I feel like gifts intimidate him because, like, I have a best friend, okay, that is, I'm scared to buy her gifts. I feel scared. I feel scared because I have given gifts before and there's nothing said. It's almost like my gift is stupid. And so now I feel I feel very scared to give her a gift because I feel like I don't know what to buy her because she's very picky and very opinionated about what she gets. So it makes me feel scared. And I started thinking, am I like that? Am I like that with Shane? Like, I don't know. So I wondered if he fears, like, maybe that's his hang up, is like he's fearful to buy gifts because he's scared he's going to buy something stupid. Do you do that? Sometimes I do that. I feel, hang on. I've had to learn. Because I do receive love. If y'all watched no, it's not a watch. If you read the book, The Five Languages of Love, I've learned that mine is through gifts. I feel loved when someone, like Christmas, when y'all gave me those gifts, I was like, I'm like, these people literally went to the store and heard me say that I love Kylie lipstick. And she went out to the store and literally bought me Kylie lipstick. Oh my, she freaking loves me. Oh my God. That's me. So what happens is with Shane and I. So how can you be complete and happy when your husband doesn't understand your love language? You know what I'm saying? You're like, this sucks. Hang on, I'm gonna put this on. It would be the same if Shane's love language was touch, because that is a love language. So if Shane's love language was touch, and Judy's like, Joker, do not touch me in this bed. Get your butt on the other side and do not spoon with me because I literally hate it. Get yourself on the other side. If I'm that way. So if Shane's love language was touch, and I'm like, you ain't you ain't get away. I'm not really like huggy feely, like, I don't know, I guess I'm a hard butt maybe, but, like, if his love language was touch, he's in trouble if he married me. And see, if my love language is, like, gifts, giving, and he's like, "Joker, I'm not going out and buying you a Christmas present," we're in trouble. So, Shane likes touch, and I like gifts, and we go like this. Okay? So how do you make it a beautiful marriage when neither one of you, your love languages are totally different? And what happens is his love language and my love language, what we need from each other, we suck at giving the other the love language they need. This calls for a disaster. This calls for an absolute disaster. Because see, I want to give Shane my love language. I'm like, here's you a gift. I went to the store and bought you this today. And he's like, oh, thanks. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's it? Just thanks. Really? And he's like, what did you want? I need the back handsprings in the front yard. And he's like, you're not getting that from me. And I'm like, but you're not feeling my needs. That's what I need. I need to know that you are like flipping out, excited that I just went out of my way to buy you a gift. Because what is happening? I'm trying to fulfill my love language to him and it ain't working. So then on the flip side, okay, Shane's like, why don't we just hug each other? And I'm like, get away from me. No, I don't want to do that. But Judy, come on, let me hug you. No, get away from me. And he's like, he's trying to fulfill his love language to me. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I want you to get away from me. Can't you just say I love you from there? I don't want to spoon at night. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to fulfill his love language. I'm trying to fulfill my love language and they're not jiving. So how do you remain happy when that happens? That is the question of the day. I have had to learn what time is it? Okay. I have had to learn how to fulfill my own bucket. So during the holidays, I've had to learn to tell Shane, okay, Christmas is coming up and I was really wanting to redo the bedroom. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, and I was really wanting to put granite in the bathrooms and it's going to cost this much money. And the paint that I've chosen is this color and it's going to cost this much money and this is what I want to do. And I've learned that Shane is so giving that when I present it to him like that, he's like, whatever you want. And I'm like, dude, why can't you go out and get it? Like, why couldn't you go out and surprise me and have granite put in the bathroom? You know what I mean? See, he's not like that. But I've had to learn to accept how I've had to learn how to fulfill my love language in his way. And his way is to say to him, okay, for Christmas, I would really like for us to give each other and redo our bathroom. I realize we can't paint till after hunting season, and it's going to take me a minute to pick out the paint. But if we could go ahead and put the granite in, I feel like that's our first step. Okay. And I'm like, that's it? That was easy. And so I realized it's not that Shane doesn't want to fulfill my love language, it's that it's almost like he doesn't know how. So I've had to kind of teach him what I need. Now let's flip it. Let's flip it. When it comes to his love language, I haven't learned how do I put this? like, it's easy for me to fulfill my own need, right? Like, this is what I need. This is what I need from you. But see, when Shane doesn't, he's a boy, and boys don't always go, but I need you to let me hug you, let me spoon you at night. Like, he's not going to say that. He's a boy, right? But see, I have to learn, like, I have to be the mature one and look at his language. I can tell when, like, he starts feeling frustrated, and I can tell when I need to change, because a lot of times I get stuck in my own needs that I neglect his needs because I want to do what makes me feel good. That's selfish. I just do what makes me feel good. Just do it to me. Like, I need this and I need that. No, you have to be mature enough. Like, let's talk about, not talk about marriage. Let's talk about the sister. Okay? Your sister has a love language and you have a love language, and they may be two totally different love languages. Okay? And you're trying to mend this relationship, and you're trying to get over the fact that she was ugly in high school or whatever, and she's a different person today. So, how do you fulfill her love language when it's not your love language? This is what we end up doing. It's me that has to give. I'm the one that has to go to her house. I'm the one who has to always call her. I'm the one who has to just forgive and forget because she's never going to tell me she's sorry. It's me. Stop, stop, stop. That's when you get caught up in crap. Okay. That's when you have to be the mature one. Yes. You're the one that has to go to counseling to learn how to deal with the crap. Yes. It's me. I have to go to counseling to learn how to deal with shame. I do. I do. But see, the reason I do, and the reason you have to learn how to deal with your sister and fulfill her needs is because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, okay, it's your husband, it's your wife, it's your sister, it's your blood. Okay. And at the end of the day, it may be the only one that's left. And there may come a day where there's going to be regret. And you have to live your life with no regrets. And even though other people do not fulfill your needs, even though what are we called to do? What as a person, what are we called to do? Are we called to just get our needs met? No. We're called, it's the same as like giving. Okay? There's people that give because, it's like me, I'm fulfilling my own need and I want you to do back handsprings and stuff. That's the wrong reason to give. I should not give to Shane to get my needs fulfilled. You see what I'm saying? And we do that. For people that are like me, they're gift people. Okay. We want our needs met. We want you to do the back handsprings in the front yard. And when we don't get our needs done, I ain't giving her nothing no more. She doesn't even care. She doesn't even wear that sweater that I gave her for Christmas 2 years ago. And I spent $60 on that sweater and she don't even care. That's what we do. The gift giver people. That's what we do. But see, what you don't realize is your sister's need may not be gifts. Because, like, where you've lost your mom and dad, so is she. Where you feel alone, she does too. She's dealing with the same things that you deal with. But see, her love language is different. And you have to figure out what her love language is and meet it. And I'm going to tell you what I've learned from Shane. I have learned that when I put my own self to the side and fulfill his needs, he automatically fills mine. And sometimes we get stuck in, I don't like them. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. They don't do it to me. I ain't doing it to them. They don't give me a gift. I ain't giving them one. She never comes to my house. I ain't going to hers. Ever since Mama died, she's been a biscuit. Okay. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. She could care less about me. But when you, new preaching stick, when you concentrate on fixing the things that you need to fix about you, change starts happening. When you get your focus off what your sister is doing wrong and get your focus on what you're doing wrong, your mindset changes. And your sister is going to notice a difference in you because your love is changing. You're experiencing healing. And with Shane, I've noticed when I get my focus off myself and what I need is the moment that I see things differently. It's like I put on different glasses. It's like when is when because we do it without realizing what like when we're wanting our needs met, we do it without realizing it. But when you start fixing, instead of concentrate, my sister is this, my husband is this, my husband is a POS, my wife, oh my God, she's so needy. All she does is gripe and gripe and gripe. Okay. When you get your focus off that and go, what do I need to do as a husband? What does God call me to do as a husband? What do I need to do to protect my wife and my family? When you get in prayer and quiet moment, go, God, what do I need to fix about me? Not, dear Heavenly Father, please change Shane's heart. He's a stubborn dadgummit. He's got the filthiest mouth I've ever heard in my life. Lord, please put a bar of soap, if not 10 bars of soap, in his mouth because he has the nastiest mouth I've ever heard in my life. When I stop focusing on what Shane needs to change and focus on what Judy needs to change, it's totally different. And see, these are things we can control as things about ourselves. When you go, you know what? When I look in the mirror, I literally hate myself. I hate who I've become. I'm this slob that just has no purpose in life. I hate being around people. I hate, like, when you figure out why you do the things you do, is the moment you start having clarity because you focus on yourself and not what this other person needs to change about themselves. And your attitude will totally change. And then what happens is, like Christmas Day, okay? I got to put my mascara on. Christmas Day, I woke up and I start having these expectations at Christmas. Like, this is what I do. Okay. And this year, when you guys sent me all those gifts, it so fulfilled my needs that were never met. It's not even funny. I just blinked and I got mascara all under my eyes. So I woke up Christmas morning and I cooked breakfast, and Larry went to his bedroom and Shane went to his shop. And I was literally sitting on the couch going, this sucks, a big old fat Meemaw sandwich. This is awful. I was like, Larry sits in his bedroom and Shane's in the shop. And it's Christmas morning and I'm sitting here on the couch. And I did that all day. And I found myself so darn frustrated. I'm like, God, this is awful. This is awful. And then when Shane would come in, I would make rude comments. Well, I hope you're enjoying your Christmas out in your shop. And he would be looking at me like, what's wrong with her? And I'm like, this is awful. You should have just stayed hunting because Joker, you're not even in here. We're not even like I wanted to sit in here sing Christmas carols. You know what I mean? And so then my son came over and he was like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, Shane's in the shop and Larry's in the dadgum bedroom and I've been sitting here all day. He goes, well, what would you have done differently? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, if they were in the house, what would you do? To sit on the couch and watch TV? Would that made you happy? And I'm like, no. And he was like, well, what are you wanting? And I was like, what am I wanting? So then it stopped me to go, what am I wanting? And I was like, I want, and what happened, what I was wanting, I was really thinking, what was I wanting? I really was wanting to go back in time when I was a kid and we would wake up Christmas morning at my grandmother's and my grandmother would be cooking breakfast. My mom and dad were divorced, so we spent Christmas. We would go to my grandparents' house to spend the night with my grandparents, so my mom wouldn't be by herself. So we would open Christmas presents Christmas morning at my grandmother's. And it was like, you know how you are about your childhood, how Christmas was, and like when mama was there and grandmama was there, and you are stuck in those days, and you're like, can't they just be normal? Can't we just go back to where grandmother was fixing breakfast and making homemade biscuits, and we were having Christmas carols playing, and brother was getting a bicycle, and the other brother was getting a motorcycle, and I was getting a fur coat. Can't we just go back to those days? That's what I find myself wanting. I'm wanting my grandmother to be here, my mom to be here. Like, I want things normal. And this crap sucks sitting on the couch with my husband in the shop and my dad in the bedroom. But see, when my son said to me, Mom, if they were in the house, what would you be doing? And I had to stop myself and go, I don't know. And he was like, well, then why is it so bad? Like, what are you wanting? I just want Meemaw to be here, and I just want my mom to be here, and I just want to be singing Christmas carols. And then it's like, oh, okay, that's what's wrong with me. That's what's wrong with me is because I am stuck in what things used to be like when I was little. And then then it starts snowballing because then what happens is I'm like, once I start reminiscing about what it was like as a child, then I go forward and go, oh God, I never got my kids Christmas. I never got to give my kids Christmas presents. So then it starts spiral into madhouse. And I'm like, I'm a train wreck now because I'm stuck in what Christmas was like when I was a kid and what Christmas was like when you were a kid. Vance, and I'm so sorry that I did not give you Santa Claus and I made you go to your dad's your whole life because I was in an abusive marriage. And oh my gosh, why did I do this? Mom, would you shut up? Would you just stop? Stop. But see, that's what I find myself. So, like, if you find yourself going, this birthday sucks. This birthday is just awful. I'm just getting old as dirt. I don't have a birthday cake. Nobody's singing happy birthday to me. Like, what's wrong with you? You're wanting things to be like they were when you were young. Because when we were young at Christmas, things were so special. We believed in Santa Claus. And, everybody was still alive when we were kids, mostly, and like we still are stuck in those times. I wish times were like they used to be. And like my grandmother was probably doing the same thing, going, God, things were just like they used to be. We do that. But see, I've had to learn to fix when it comes to Christmases and it comes to holidays and it comes to my needs being met, I've learned I've had to take care of myself. Because if I don't, I get in trouble. And even though I try so hard to take care of myself, I find myself in left field Christmas Day. I do. I find myself in left field. And I think that's kind of normal, to be honest. I think it's normal. But when it comes to marriage and you being happy, I don't think there's such a thing. Like, you know how people put on Facebook, happy anniversary to my best friend. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking in my head, because see, when you read stuff like, oh, they have such a perfect marriages, they're best friends. Oh shoot. If I only had a marriage like that. They're just best friends. They laugh. And then you watch my videos and you're like, oh my gosh, Shane and Judy, they're the cutest things ever. I just wish that I had a marriage like, come live with me. Come live with me. I can't put on mascara. Oh, Lord, it's 8 o'clock. I got to go take the rabbit to the vet. I hope that I said something today that I wish that I could put on mascara and not look like a kindergartner's put on mascara. I hope that I said something today that hits home with you. At the end of the day, there's something that you need to work on with you. There's something that holds you back from doing the things that you need to do in life. There's something that holds you back from building relationships back with your family. There's things that hold you back from, like you thinking you have a miserable marriage. No, you're miserable probably. It's probably you, to be honest. So, like, these are the things that you need to fix about you. And the new year is coming up. And a lot of times we make New Year's resolutions. And I gotten to the point where I'm like, I might as well not even do this. It'll last a freaking 2 weeks and then it'll be over with. Well, you know what? You got to start somewhere, right? So, like, I hope that as the year ends and a new year begins, I hope that in 2024, you find a new you. And when you get your little notebook out, go get you a little notebook and write down everything that you need to fix about you. Like, I hate the way I look. I hate the way I dress. I hate the way that I have no friends. I hate the way that I do this. I hate this. I hate my job. I hate whatever you hate. Write it down and start checking off the list. Fixing you. What do you need to make a perfect image of Judy? I'll tell you what I need to work on right now is, that I have fear of being homeless. I know it's stupid. It makes no sense. I know it's retarded. I shouldn't have said that word. It is not a good thing to feel like scared you're going to be homeless, but I do. That's my biggest fear. And so I'm like, okay, how do I fix this fear? How do I fix the fear of that I'm going to be homeless? Okay, well, let's think about this. Maybe I should concentrate on investing so that I don't have the fear. Like, how much money has to be in my checking or my savings account for me to feel that I'm not going to be homeless? See, like you would think, because my doctor said, how much do you need in your checking account? And I'm like, I don't know. And she goes, okay, well, let's figure it out. What do you need to do? What do you need to have in your savings account? Because I fear, like, if something happens to Shane, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to sell my animals. I'm gonna sell my house. Oh my god, oh, what am I gonna do? I can't sell Leroy. I do that. And then like I'll go through the whole process. Oh my God, I just had to sell Leroy. How am I feeling? Oh my gosh. I go into total panic mode. Okay, so what do I need to do to feel safe? What do I need to do to feel safe? And I don't know the answer to that yet. I'm trying to figure out what it is. But you know what? I've realized there is no amount of money that could be in my savings account that would make me feel safe. So, what does that mean? That means I need to fix this process in my head that makes me feel like I'm going to be homeless. I have to fix this because no matter what is here, it doesn't fix this because I've tried. I'm like, okay, if I can get X amount of dollars in my savings account, I'll feel safe. Well, guess what? I got X amount of dollars in the savings account and I still do not feel safe. So I've realized in my head, there's no dollar figure. I could have $1 million in the bank and I would still fear being homeless. I would still fear going, oh my God, Shane, something's happened to Shane. Now I got to sell my animals. That fear is stuck in here, and no dollar amount takes this fear away. So I've realized that it is a mindset that I have to fix, and trying to change your brain process takes time. And it takes effort, and it takes a professional to teach me how not to fear being homeless and having to get rid of my farm. Because before the farm, it was still there. It didn't happen when I got the farm. It was there before I had the farm. It was there from childhood. It was there from abandonment. The fear comes from abandonment. So, like, I have to fix the abandonment fears to change this and see no matter how hard I work towards that goal, it creeps back up. But the thing is, it'll creep back up and I recognize it right off the bat. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm feeling like I can't breathe. I cannot breathe right now because I'm scared I'm going to have to sell my animals. I'm scared something's wrong with Shane. What am I going to do? And I have to go, breathe. Stop. Stop for just a minute, Judy. And I laugh. I told you guys I do this to myself. When I get to that fearful and I recognize it, because sometimes I used to not recognize it and I would be sick. But now I will go, okay, Judy, you're homeless. All right, you're living under the interstate. Let's talk about it. see what you're talking about. And I say, I could see me holding an exercise class to the homeless people under the interstate. I could see me rallying the homeless going, okay, y'all, let's talk about this. Where can we get the best box to get us through the winter? Can't y'all see me doing that? Okay, y'all, there's 10 of us. I was thinking about, like, I saw a couple of boxes in the dumpster, like a mile down the street. If we walk, I can do it. I'll walk a mile if y'all can help me pick up the boxes. But I was thinking if we could do a fundraiser. Okay, so like we could do a fundraiser for thank you. We could do a fundraiser for, blankets. Like I can see me doing that, right? And so I have to laugh at myself when those fears come. So I hope this year you will change you and fix the things you need to do. All right, guys, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. You have two choices, right? You can sit it out or you dance. And today I hope you dance. I will see y'all next Monday. I love y'all so much.